Hey, welcome back to another edition of Ego on Break. I'm your host, Dynamite J. Andrews. Got the Mississippi Madman, Logan Creed, sitting to my left. And this will have to be a fairly quick Ego on Break, as we only have about 17 minutes of storage. So if we kind of wrap it up quick, that's why. So let's talk about what as of right now was the final independent wrestling event in Mississippi.
Yeah, true.
Widowfest 2020, hosted by Battle Zone Championship Wrestling, took place in Raleigh, Mississippi, 2 nights. And as far as I know, it was the last independent wrestling event in Mississippi.
Really?
At least for the foreseeable future. So I guess that's a title to hold. And it was a very, I hate to use the word old school, but a very territorial style event.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Both nights. I mean, it really had that throwback feel to wrestling of yesterday. So kudos to those guys. I think it really went a long way to honor the parents of the Williamsons, the Pharaoh Funk, Jesse Dalton, and the Psycho, and I believe there's a few other brothers and that's there.
There's too many for me to remember.
Yeah, I don't remember everybody's name, but the Widowmaker, Jim Williamson, was a manager at the Battle Zone for years, and then him and his wife had bought it and they ran it, and so it was really cool. And this is the first I've ever been a part of it, I believe. I don't think I'd ever been a part of it. So night 1 was probably better than night 2. So you didn't see that, so
no, I did.
Go back and watch it, because it was pretty good. He got off to a little rough start. As Fabio Andre and Simon Phillips took on Ray Fury and junior heavyweight champion Braxton Hunter. Fabio Andre looks like he's Donnie Primetime's cousin that dresses like a butterfly in full butterfly flamboyant wings, and it's pretty awesome. So he and Simon Phillips defeated Ray Fury and Braxton Hunter after some miscommunication between Braxton and Ray. So we thought we were going to get to see a little fight between the two good guys of the match, but it did not happen. Maybe happen down the road, because I think I'd like to see that match.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Then we got the first round of the Battle Royal. The Battle Royal was set up basically kind of like AEW does there, where there's a group of people come out at one time, and the winner of night 1 would face the winner of night 2 to become the winner of the D.D. Williamson Cup. Okay.
So was most of the guys in the Battle Royal the ones that took the seminar?
Yes, essentially every guy that took the seminar gave the option to work the Battle Royal to be in this cup.
Gotcha.
And just name off a few, because a lot of these guys I didn't know. There was wrestlers from Florida, Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama. Like, it was 4 or 5 states that came together. A lot of these guys I didn't know, but just a few: Corey Constantine, R.J. Williamson, Jamie Holiday, Caden Hoss, Dale Springs, Joe Oso, and several more were in this. And Corey Constantine won night 1's Battle Royal. Then we get probably the old schoolist match. I don't know if I'm using that right, but a match that felt very throwback.
Okay. Between
Cassidy Riley and Jackson Slade, and it was it was a phenomenal match. But it was they used the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid, and they kept it very basic, very simple, but everything was on point. And I mean, probably the second best match of the weekend.
Really?
Yeah. So that was really cool. Then we got Cassidy defeated Jackson Slade that night, and I believe it was he put his feet on the ropes somehow, like did something, put his feet on the ropes and beat.
That sounds like Cassidy.
Yeah. Cassandra Golden, we had ladies match next. Cassandra Golden defeated Amber Rodriguez. First time seeing Amber Rodriguez, and her and Cassandra had a pretty hard-hitting match. About halfway through, I was like, man, I wish I would have recorded this and put it on the channel, because ladies matches always gets lots of views.
More than anything.
I did forget, but I was there. Like I took my kids and my wife, and we were there just kind of as a family. So I was kind of taken back from promoter and just kind of enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
And then we got the Battlezone Capital City Championship match, which is their heavyweight title. Their champion, their champion was Christian Blake, and he defeated Monty Warbucks. No, Monty Warbucks defeated Christian, becoming the new champion. And because of the coronavirus and everything that was going on, Monty said he would not wrestle Christian until the referee made him sanitize his hands and that kind of thing. He sent out hand sanitizer. Christian refused, but I think the referee ended up making him do it. We did get the match. At some point, the referee was either distracted or got knocked down or something. I don't 100% remember what happened to the referee, but I guess at this point Monty decided this would be a great time for him to sanitize his hands because he had been in the ring and that kind of thing. So as he was putting about half the bottle of sanitizer in his hands, miraculously his hands hit Christian in the face, temporarily blinding Christian.
That's just coincidence.
Yeah, it was all coincidence, I'm sure. And one Monty's finisher later, new Capital City champion, marvelous Monty Warbucks, said he is making wrestling marvelous again.
Sweet.
So then we get our main event. We had Chris Black, Frankie Thomas, Vladimir Koloff, and the Nightmare known as Jeremiah take on the Renegades of Funk, JD Jenkins, and WWE star Hornswoggle. And this was the match of the weekend by far. It too was in the Keep It Simple Stupid category, but by far was the best match of the night. Hornswoggle punched Frankie in his
lower extremities.
Yeah, that place, and then delivered a Hornswoggle stunner to Frankie Thomas, and that's how he got the win. And then they were throwing a fit about it and saying they Frankie wanted a singles match with Hornswoggle,
a short one,
yep. And short it was, as Hornswoggle said, "Hey, Dr. Tom," who was the special guest referee, "close your eye or do this." Dr. Tom done that. He punched Frankie again in the lower extremities and delivered another Hornswoggle stunner. And yeah, and so then the bad guys got upset, said that Dr. Tom did a fast count, and he proceeded to punch them all out one at a time in a line. Boom, go to sleep. Boom, go to sleep. Boom, go to sleep. Boom, go to sleep.
What Chris Black told me is one of the hardest hits he's taken in a long time.
Probably was. Yeah. So that was night one. It was very good. Night two, you were there for night two.
Yes.
So Simon Phillips, the golden boy, or golden Simon Phillips, took on cruiserweight champion or junior heavyweight champion Braxton Hunter, and Braxton Hunter retained.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Yep.
Really,
thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
I give a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Cool deal. Then we get Battle Royal. The same participants are in the Battle Royal. Guys were Jay Andrews made his debut at Widowfest, but unfortunately it did not last long.
You had that Bushwhacker Luke.
Thanks R.J. Williamson for being a true blue friend and throwing me out of the match.
That come down between him and who was it?
Jackson Slade. Jackson Slade actually was not scheduled to be in the match, but I guess he figured, hey, if somebody's going to take this opportunity to be the first ever D.D. Williamson Cup winner, he was going to take it. And he came in and pretty much threw everybody out other than me because I'd already been eliminated. And
him and RJW.
Him and RJW. RJ was definitely a handful for Jackson.
That's two big old dudes.
But he actually didn't throw RJ out. RJ basically threw himself out as
he did just stop, dropping.
He stopped, dropped, and rolled the rope, and RJ fell over the top. So next we get Corey Constantine versus Jackson Slade, and the winner of this will become the first ever holder of the D.D. Williamson Cup. And Jackson Slade defeated Corey Constantine.
Yes.
In a match that had a few scary moments in it.
I thought his shoulder got broke at one point.
We saw a gorilla press into a gonzo bomb kind of thing.
Well, he landed here and here.
Yeah. So could have been really scary. Luckily, Corey, knew enough to try to like not die, and thankfully he did not.
No, I'm glad he did. His shoulder was bruised.
Yeah,
all
I bet. Then we get tag team titles. Both Pro Wrestling Ego titles and the Battle Zone tag titles are on the line. The Titans of Blackwater, Ursa Major and the Nightmare, are were the champions. So a little spoiler there.
Yep.
They took on the Renegades of Funk, Frankie Thomas and Chris Black, and the team that is known as the Beast Masters, the the Beast Makers, maybe that's what it was, Beast Makers, the full-time Beast JD Jenkins and the Widow Maker Jesse Dalton. So there you get Beast Makers, and they defeated all those other teams and became both Battle Zone and Pro Wrestling Ego tag team champions. So kudos to the Beast Makers. Yeah,
those guys.
Then main event time, Monty Warbucks, who had earlier in the night inducted Travion into the Battle Zone Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And so we got Monty and Travion with Cassidy and Big Ramp, and they took on the team of Christian Blake and Dr. Tom Pritchard. And we saw Christian Blake and Dr. Tom win that match.
Yes.
Yep. So what was your thoughts overall on Widowfest 2020?
I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I was filming it, but from everything I got to see, I really enjoyed it.
It was a cool night. Again, if ever there was an event that felt kind of throwbackish to yesterday, or to days gone by, it was this event.
Yeah.
I know not all the events Battle Zone does has that feeling, but just for some reason, I guess with Tom Pritchard kind of being at the helm, it definitely had a throwback feel to it. So overall, I was pleased to be part of Widowfest. I don't know why I said Widowmaker Fest. Widowfest, yeah, Widowfest 2020. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable show.
Right. So we got a few more minutes. Did you watch MLW?
Yes, I did.
I did too. First match was, do you remember?
Laredo Kid and the middleweight
Myron
champion,
Reed.
Myron Reed. I
Yep.
always forget his name.
What would you think?
Not bad.
Scary spot
Couple
with
of
that
them,
Spanish Fly Bulldog Pile Driver thing they
It
did.
was backwards. Like he did it as like a German suplex.
Well, he ended up like
was
riding the
weird,
horse
bro.
type position. I don't know.
To me, that should have been finished.
I said the same thing. I wish like Jordan Oliver and Cota Brazil would just called an audible and just attacked him right then.
Yes,
he could have won by DQ because I thought Myron died.
yes. I mean, the way he landed was really ugly. But I mean, legit, it could. There was no higher pop after that. After that move.
The finish though was really cool. It was something Laredo Kid did that I really enjoyed. And it's the simple things, the small things that mean the most. As the referee was counting 3, he had reached his arm up for the rope, but couldn't get, like, he wasn't close enough for the rope. But he was like, I can't kick out, but I'm trying to save this match. And I thought that was a huge minor detail that really added a lot to the finish. So still your middleweight champion, Myron Reed. Then we get Gino.
Yeah, Gino
versus Manser. Was a solid match.
Yeah.
Really digging the Manser, man. Like, I think maybe Colonel Rob Parker may be coming back with him. What do you think?
It's possible.
I mean, it'd be a cool fit.
He
Kind of to lead the stud
and
stable.
he's a face. So
Well, Manser's been everything. So,
we'll see.
in MLW, there's no heels and faces. It's only how you feel today. So do you feel worse than your opponent does? Do you want to cheat more than he does? Or if you're the good guy and your opponent's a good guy, then one of y'all become a bad guy because one of y'all aren't going to get cheered.
There you go.
So, yeah, there's that. But Manser won that match, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And he out-cheated the cheater.
I was going to say with a handful of ties, and he
Yep.
literally gets right on the earphones and go, "Yeah, I held his tight, you're damn right."
I'm headed to the pay window. So that was cool. Then we got, what match did we get next?
That was the main event. Tom Lawler
Tom Lawler and Killer Cross. in what started out slow but ended up being a really, really good match. And unfortunately, it was so good that Team Filthy decided they needed to attack Killer Cross. And that led Davey Boy and the Von Erichs out. And I guess at some point, Team Filthy had a new member, Rip Von Erich.
Yeah, he was one of the he was the fake Von Erich for a little while, and now he become the corner man.
Yeah. So, but he was out there, and so now it equals out 4-on-4. So I guess the next episode we're going to get the 8-man tag with Killer Cross. And it was cool because they build this as like an inter-promotional matchup on commentary at one point.
Yeah, I guess it could be.
Because
really.
Killer Cross is technically now signed with WWE.
Yeah.
So they never said WWE. They made you feel like, hey, he came from WWE to have this match on MLW tonight.
I think it was his last Indy show, if I'm not mistaken. So
I thought it was pretty cool.
So they didn't really lie to you because he was already signed.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, as of right now, he's signed, you know. And so it made it feel like, well, why is he here if he signed with WWE? So they were pushing it as like, you know, he kind of came over for this interpromotional matchup, although it was filmed before he signed.
I was going to say, because they've had that thing in the can for a couple of months now.
But still cool. They try to make the best of a bad situation.
I agree 100%. I mean, I pretty much called how the match would end. I figured it'd turn into a tag match, but I didn't know it'd be 8-man.
Yeah.
That part threw me off.
Well, let's hope their 8-man was as good as the 8-man at Widowfest.
Well, I wanted to ask you something since we were talking about the Von Erichs.
Got a minute left.
When they did the talk outside, was that not one of the better promos they did?
It was. It was really good, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't bad at all.
So maybe they need their dad around to do promos.
Yeah, or need to do them all in pre-tape where they can start over if they're bad. But hey, the next time you have pre-tapes and you feel like starting them over, yeah, do that. So this is it for Ego on Break because we got 50 seconds left. So until next time,
Watch wrestling.
Watch wrestling.